What is up, guys? Happy Samhain. Hopefully YouTube will let me go live, but I'm thinking it's probably not gonna. I don't know what's going on over there. It is like completely grayed out. All right. I have no idea what's going on. It says I'm live, but I don't think I'm live on YouTube. All right. That's okay. It means I'll just download this one. All right. So, weird. All right. I'm going to do some Samhain reads. Are you guys ready? I know I'm a little later than normal, but that's okay. I did have to get my makeup off for today. My face was starting to be like, bitch. Happy Samhain. All right. Are we ready? I have my first 5 for tonight. Then I have several other reads. I have a first 5 for tomorrow morning. And then I will be finishing up Samhain reads. So if you guys would like one, have at it. I am doing these with my Halloween Oracle deck. For those of you guys that missed it last night or have missed me reading with these over the last few years, these have some utterly glorious artwork. The backs leave a lot to be desired, but that's okay. This is one of the first editions of this deck. I've had it since at least 2020, maybe 2019. I can't remember. All right. Miss Nikki Norton, you are first. Are you ready? Yeah, I had to turn YouTube off, so this will be downloaded and put on YouTube. I'm not sure. It was the weirdest thing. It was showing me live and then not showing me live. Like, I don't quite know what happened there. Thank you, Miss Kelly. How are you? YouTube says waiting for me. What? That's so... I think YouTube is broken. All right. Miss Nikki Norton, are we ready? So Samhain is all about, this is the witch's new year. And I will talk about this a couple of times. My hair is insane tonight. I will talk about this a couple of times while I'm live, but Samhain marks the end of summer, the end of the harvest season, the coming of the darkness, the coming of winter. So a lot of people were asking, well, how do I celebrate Samhain? You already do. The Christians do, whether they like it or not. They do. Because Samhain itself, the festival of Samhain, is actually All Hallowtide, All Hallows Eve. It is celebrating the god Samhain, which is the druidic god of death. Okay? Yeah. But this is also a time when the veil is said to be very thin, so ancestors can come back and forth. But the practices of Samhain are all about carving apples, pumpkins, dressing up to hide from evil spirits, using masks to scare off evil spirits. So you already celebrate it. Gathering food for the rest of the winter, although we prefer to gather candy. But I'm just saying what I'm saying. So these reads right here are all about what Samhain is changing for you. This is the witch's new year, the witchy new year. What is the next year bringing to you? So what I'm going to read for you is what is fall, what is winter bringing in for you. Okay? You ready? Miss Nikki Norton is first. If you guys would like to grab a ticket, I am doing them tonight. I am also doing them tomorrow during the day because Samhain runs from the 31st all the way through the 1st, just so you guys know. I have a first 5 tonight, and I have a first 5 in the morning, okay? Both of these lives will be downloaded and put on YouTube. Nikki Norton, you start off with strength. Then you have the owl, which is wise action, wise sight. And then you have the skull of stars, infinite possibilities. And then you have the Lady de los Muertos, which is acceptance and equality. So let's talk, okay? This fall is going to be a little challenging, but amazing for you, okay? Fall, winter. Let's just say these or till Yule, okay? From Samhain to Yule. That's a good 2 months. So one of the first things that's going to be coming your way, Nikki, is you're going to need a lot of inner strength. The skeleton is our strength. It's our system that our skeletal system holds us up. You are the backbone. You are the backbone. Unfortunately, you're going to continue to be the backbone. A lot of us that are the backbone and have been the backbone for our family end up staying the backbone for a while. And it's no different for you, Nikki. So sorry to be the bearer of bad news there. But sometimes it's nice to be the backbone. It's nice to be the backbone, to know that you will be there when someone needs you. Okay? You're going to need a lot of strength. A lot of strength coming up for the fall. And the universe is going to bring it to you. The universe is going to bring it to you because of this wise sight right here. In a lot of cultures, the owl can represent death. It can be a bad omen. But in other cultures, it represents being wise. Wise is an old owl, seeing everything, seeing in the darkness. So with a lot of this strength, you're also going to be able to see a lot of things that have been hidden from you. So in being the backbone, you're going to end up not only being the backbone for yourself and your family, but for those around you that show, hey, I trust my gut. I see what's going on. I'm kind of paying attention. I'm seeing in the darkness. The next thing is this. And this is what you really want to be looking forward to. In seeing through some of the BS and in making wise moves and being the backbone, you're going to open up a massive amount of possibilities when it comes to the fall, when it comes to after Yule, when it comes to next year in 2024. From now until Yule, these next couple of months are going to be very, very interesting. You're going to see a lot of things that you didn't see before. And when I say that, I want to address that I know a lot of you are seeing things that you didn't see before, both here in the physical realm and then some of the weird spiritual shit that's been going on. But infinite possibilities is something that I know, Nikki, you are like everybody else, where we just want to see that there is a way forward. Not only is the universe going to show you the way forward, but it's going to show you that there is a multitude of paths to get to the way forward. Equality, acceptance, all of these right here are going to shift your path between now and Yule into a place where you probably did not expect it to be. Having to be the strong one, having to take wise action, and having to choose the path less taken, you're going to have to answer some really intense questions about yourself, Nikki Poo. But the good thing about that is in all of those questions and finding those answers, as amazing as they are, you're going to find out just how epic you are. This is a path of change and shifting and movement. And the thing is, you have to accept that change and shifting and movement for it to have any bearing on you. People don't realize that just because the universe shifts and changes and moves us around, we still have to kind of accept that. If we fight it tooth and nail, then it's not really going to be anything great, is it? Thank you, Miss Suzanne. So make sure that when this pops up, you accept the challenge. You accept the responsibility. You accept that wise path, that wise action, and all of those infinite roads forward. I think, Miss Nikki, that by Yule, you're probably going to look back and not recognize the pre-Samhain you. It's not always a bad thing. This right here tells me that you've been stagnant for a very, very long time. And the universe has been listening. You've been taking the steps that needed to be taken to move out of that stagnant rut. Be ready for it. Accept it when it comes and grab it with both hands. Alrighty. I also from the shop, I grabbed some Bodhi's Mojo tea. It's a little hard to see in the skull there, but y'all, I'm proud of this tea. I'm just saying. All right, Genell Mason, you are next. There's about 30 ingredients in it. I made it on a live the other day. It is already on my site. I will have the ingredient list up tomorrow. I had like 5 of those cups, and now I only know where 1 is. I think 2 of them migrated to the shop. But it is what it is. Y'all also kind of get to watch me snack a little bit because I'm hungry. Hey, Michaela, how are you? All right. Genell, are you ready, honey? Well, I don't know why, but it seems like the universe is giving you permission to be happy, Genell. The very first thing you have is trick or treat, which is mischief and play. And then you have joy and rejecting all of those negative energies around you. Then you have the apple, which is risk and reward. And then finally, you have the jack-o'-lantern, which is protection. So here we go. We're going to talk about these 2 together, to be honest, and then we're going to talk about these 2. And here's why. The universe is basically giving you permission or telling you, hey, you need to be happy. You need to be happy. You need to get back to some inner child work, to some mischievous action. If you live with Genell or you are around Genell, just know that she's going to be a little ornery. She's going to be playing all the jokes. But Genell, this is all about getting back to your inner child. It's all about grabbing hold of that fun, mischievous, lighthearted self that's gotten pushed way to the back there. It's time to be happy and rejoice in what you have, in what you've been through, in where you're going, what you've left behind. There comes a point in our path where we have to stop and we have to look around and we have to be happy and be so thankful for everything that we have gone through, everything that has come before, everything that is on its way. We just need to be thankful for everything. And I know everybody says, oh, I give thanks, I'm thankful. And we do. I'm not saying that you don't, okay? But you need, every single one of you, at some point, you'll feel it. And Genell, yours is between now and Yule. To just take a step back and just be thankful. Don't stress about moving forward. Don't stress about this or that or comparing yourself to somebody else or I've got to start this or start. No, just be thankful for what you have on your plate, in your lap right now. Even if it's not what you expected, even if it's something completely different or what appears to be different than what you asked for. Between now and Yule, this is your time to play. This is your time to get back to the playful Genell that you left behind. This is your time to be a kid. It's your time to be a kid. The other thing is this. There's going to be a lot of interesting risks coming your way. And as a true Capricorn, I want to give you a little bit of Capricorn advice. Because with risk and reward, you have to really pay attention. Because when those risks come your way, you have to really be able to take a Capricorn's mindset and look at every single aspect of it. before you decide if the reward is worth it or not. Now, I will say this. Because of this protection card right here, this is twofold. One, you are protected in having this childlike fervor back in your life. And two, you are protected in a lot of this risk and reward. So the universe is going to protect you by making a couple of mistakes, but not all the mistakes. So really pay attention, Genell, and make sure that with this risk, you look at all of the different avenues that come with it. The reward, the losses, and everything in between. Okay? You are protected between now and Yule. Honey, you are super, super protected. Now, don't think that this means that you need to take your protections down. Don't think that this means that you don't need to up protections. Because the winter solstice is coming up at the start of Yule. And we're all going to have a little winter solstice live ritual here, because last solstice was insane with the energy shift. And I expect this year to be no different. So Genell, don't put your protections on the back burner, even though the universe is protecting you, and even though it's got your back when it comes to these risks and this childlike behavior. Don't overlook the importance of putting your own protections in place. Okay? So just kind of a quick recap, Miss Genell. This is absolutely the time between now and Yule to get back to that inner child, to give thanks and be happy for everything that you have and not stress about moving forward. And I know that that's easier said than done. To look at all of the amazing risks and rewards that are coming your way and know that you're protected, but continue to add to your own protections. All right. Miss Carrie Beeman is one of my first 5 for tomorrow. So we will let that one sit for a little bit. Mai, are you ready? Aburshed. Aburshed? Am I saying it right? You know, Karen, I don't know, actually. If so, I hope that they have changed the back of them. I'm sorry, but no. This looks like a 3rd grade tablecloth. A paper one that you don't even get to use the whole time because it rips in half. You know what I'm saying? No. Yes. No. But this is the Halloween Oracle deck. I've had it for several years. I absolutely love it. All right, Mai, are you ready? Happy Halloween. I miss Denver. I miss the Mile High City. And no, I have not done Polly yet, honey. I am on Mai right now. Hey, Gail, how are you, sweetheart? We have been getting a lot of use out of the goodies that you sent. You're going to have to come up and visit and see the expansion. In fact, the new Bodhi's Mojo tea looks utterly glorious in some of the cups that you sent. I'm just saying what I'm saying. All right. Ready, Mai? Mm-hmm. So the skull represents the psyche. It represents the psychic. It represents the mind. It represents thought. So I find it super interesting that at the beginning of your read and the end of your read both have a skull in the cards. Okay? You start with the underworld, where all things pause and begin again. And then you have the lamp, which is remembrance. Then you have scrying, which is intention. paying attention to your gut feelings. And then you have the skull of light, which is illumination. And I want you to notice that every single one of these cards has to do with illuminating something that has been beyond your grasp, okay? So let's talk. This right here is the underworld. This is where all things pause and begin again. You're going to be going through a phase between now and Yule where the whole of your spiritual path seems to be a pause and a reset, a restart. With a pause, with a reset, a restart, there's always that idea of, thank you, Tristan, of just starting over. Sometimes when the universe hits pause, we don't know how to take it. Because as humans, no matter where you come from, you're taught to move forward. Always be better than you were yesterday. Am I right? So when something pauses you, when you get that hard reset, sometimes we don't know what to say. We don't know how to take it. With this card in particular, this is just a reset. It's not a hard stop. It is a complete and utter reset. This can be frustrating as hell when it happens. So know that this is going to happen if it hasn't already happened in your life, Mai. It could be May. And if it's May, I'm sorry. But don't feed the trolls, guys. I see them popping in. Just let them be what they're going to be. So, here's the thing. Resets are a fantastic thing. When we go too far down a path the wrong way, we have to get snapped back and reset. Happy Samhain. When that happens, take time to grieve the path that you just lost. A lot of times when we have a reset, when we change paths, when something shifts, we don't take the time to look at and grieve what we lost. You know why? Because we're too busy trying to move forward. But that was a part of us. That was our life. That was where we were headed. It's what we wanted so bad we could taste it at one point in time. You have to take the time and grieve that. If you don't, you're going to have regrets. Humans are very logical beings. I know some of you guys are like, no, they're not. They really are. A single person is a pretty logical being. So when you realize that if you take the time to grieve all of that part of that path and the things that you just lost, so you can see that that wasn't your path to be on any longer. It takes the path that's in front of you now and makes it much, much more, much easier, much faster, much brighter. Does that make sense? I know my words weren't working correctly, but does that make sense? The next card here is scrying, which is intention. It's intuition. It's doing something to look toward the future intentionally with purpose. In this remembrance and letting go of that past path and being able to look forward with a fresh new outlook, especially a brand new reset path. It's so much easier to look forward, to use divination tools, to scry in any way and see where it is you're supposed to go. Because that path is wide open, it's fresh, it's clean, it's a reset path. Meaning it's super easy to get answers. Think about it. You're kind of getting a cheat sheet. The other thing is this. Trusting your gut and trusting this intentional way of acting illuminates this new path you're on. Do you see where this comes full circle? See where it comes full circle? The illumination for your path is right there at your feet. It's right there at your feet. So when this reset happens, grieve it, okay? I don't want to tell you that it's not going to suck, because none of us like to have a reset, because we take that as the universe saying that we were wrong for doing that. It's not what the universe is saying at all. The universe is saying, okay, you already went down that path. It's now time for you to go down this path. Or let's go back and start over. You are always exactly where you are supposed to be at any given time. Grieve the path that you were on. Take the time to do that. Take the time to look and act intentionally. Take the time to play with all the scrying tools. So Mai A, I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. As your spiritual advisor, I'm letting you know that you absolutely get to play with all the tools. Get to play with all the goodies. In fact, looking into a new way of scrying is a very good thing. Would be a very good thing for you. But know that that is going to illuminate everything in your new path like a beacon. Okay? Resets are always, in my opinion, a good thing. They might suck when you're going through one, but they're a good thing. Okay? All right. Miss Suzanne Horn is next. Oh, that is my second cup of this tonight. Just saying what I'm saying. Happy Samhain Stormy. Suzanne, you're throwing cards at me. I just want you to know. Thank you. You're welcome, love. So, Suzanne, I know that you've watched me read for a while. I was about to start to call the cards on their bullshit, because if you noticed, I hadn't been able to get anything to come up. And then so your cards either have been throwing themselves, or it's like pulling teeth to get one. Just saying what I'm saying. All right. So, Miss Suzanne, you start off with the Eternal Love card, and I want to read what the bottom of this card says, okay? Because this right here is not a card of, oh, you're going to find the love of your life. No. What this card is a card of remembrance, okay? You have someone poking at you, basically. I don't know if you just haven't seen the messages that they're trying to send, or for some reason they're not making it all the way to you. Oh, we're in trouble. That was the first yawn. Maybe they're not making it all the way to you. But I want you to listen to this. Love is love. It threw me off because of the way it reads. Love is love is love. And it transcends physical death. What this means, Suzanne, is you have someone that's gone that is poking you repeatedly. Not only are they poking you repeatedly, but I would not be surprised if you have other people who are poking you repeatedly. Now, before we move into this, I want to say this. I know that you guys have noticed that the mediumship trend is huge on TikTok lately. Everybody and their dog now is a medium. Now, that's two things. One, the veil is super thin right now. The veil has been getting thin for a very long time. With Samhain, with Day of the Dead, the veil, according to multiple cultures, is super thin where the dead can cross back and forth to come and visit, to cause mischief, etc. The other thing is this. There are some unscrupulous people on there who bait you into answering questions. They bait you into giving them information. Or they're reading for you and they already know you. So, here's what I'm going to say. A good medium, a professional medium, a well-versed, well-practiced medium will never ask you for information, nor will they ever ask you to answer questions about a mediumship read. A good medium, a trained medium, a professional medium, one that knows what they're doing, will simply ask for a yes or a no answer if something resonates with you. They won't fish for a letter or a name or a place. And they won't let you continue to talk. In fact, they'll tell you right up front that they don't want you to give them any information. I know that everybody out there right now is a medium. If you guys are interested in a mediumship read from anyone, myself included, I highly recommend that you sit and you listen for a while. It is very, very apparent very quickly to anyone, if someone is an actual medium or not. Now, like I said, abilities are on the rise. The veil is very thin or down, according to some people. Am I saying that there is not a rise in mediumship abilities? Absolutely not. What I am saying is pay attention to someone before you order any service from them to make sure they are what they say they are. Okay? Myself included. Because there are some people that sometimes your people just don't want to talk to me. And that's fine. I'm not butthurt about any of that. But if you're watching someone and they're fishing for information, oh, I have a C name, I think it's so-and-so, and somebody says, well, my dad's middle name was C, it was Charlie, that's it, it's Charlie. No. All right, back to Suzanne. I just wanted to say that just really quick there, okay? Now, Suzanne, you have someone absolutely poking at you. You have someone poking at you. Again, I would not be surprised if you don't have some mediumship abilities popping up. Everyone's mediumship abilities are different. Every single one. Okay? Keep that in mind. The reason I say that is because you also have the Synergy and Healing card next. So between now and Yule, not only do you have a very intense connection with someone who's passed away, and they are bringing you some interesting gifts, or when I say gifts, I mean like opening up spiritual gifts, or they are boosting spiritual gifts for you. But you also have the Synergy and Healing card, which means there's a lot of growth coming your way. There's a lot of inner work coming your way. There's a lot of change, interchange coming your way. This is not just, oh, I might change jobs or I might get a new car, whatever. This is a lot of stuff in here, deep in here. And sometimes when we change deep in here, we all have to change from the inside out. So when we have this deep change in here, it causes all of our surroundings to look and feel different. We no longer are happy in that job we've had for 20 years. We may no longer be happy with the person we've been with for 10, 15, 20 years. When we start to really change in here, it causes a lot of change in our outward life. Now, the next card you have is the, and I can't pronounce it right, Barmbek. This is sweetness and energy. So with this change and with these abilities popping up, you're going to find that life is way sweeter than you thought it was. You're also going to find that your energy gets shifted up a notch or two, and people around you may not appreciate that too much, but I know that it'll be fantastic for you. Thank you, love. Every single one of us could use more energy. Every single one of us could use more energy. The thing about it is you kind of have to go through these two things first. This shift, this change, this movement, and then this energy. Thank you, Miss Lori. Because what I love is that Yule is going to be an epic shift for you. This right here, thanks, Jen. Thanks, Monique. This is all changing and shifting you for the better. Because the last card you have is Midnight, and this is the most magical hour of all. Midnight is also associated with the winter solstice. The winter solstice is the longest night of the year, and it is December 21st, which is the day that Yule begins. Can't make this shit up. All of this right here, notice the colors are all deep and warm and just ready, happy. Really, Suzanne? Notice the shift. It's going to be very, very interesting. Very, very interesting when Yule hits, Miss Suzanne. So enjoy all of this. Enjoy this gift popping up. Enjoy all this amazing energy that's coming your way. Enjoy this spirit guide. Enjoy this person that has passed away that is speaking to you all the time. But know that on the winter solstice, the start of Yule, there is a very magical shift coming for you. And I don't think that it's a shift that you've asked for, but I think it's one that you've known is coming for a while. So somebody asked what I was eating. I am eating leftovers. That's what I'm eating. All right. Joe is my next one for tomorrow. Polly is next. Here you go, Polly, honey. Happy Samhain. Thank you guys for all the likes, for all the new follows. Aww. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate you right back. Appreciate you right back, Polly, honey. Thank you, Kim, honey. Yeah, I'm a little later than normal, but that's okay. All right. Ready, Polly, Polly? You start off with the spider, which is community and web weaving. Then you also have eternal love, love that transcends beyond death. You also have the Ghost, which is regret. And then you have joy. You have joy, experiencing life as it comes. Words are not wording this evening. So here's the thing, Miss Polly Sue. Let's start with this card right here. My OCD makes me put every single card back down and line it up exactly perfect with the right space between it. And then the ADHD part of me wants to go, blah. Anyway, community and web weaving. From now until Yule, you're pulling in a lot of people that are in your tribe. You're finding the people that resonate with you. You're finding those guides, those gurus, those teachers, those mentors that you've been looking for so long. Between now and Yule is a time of intense web building for you. Putting yourself out there, allowing the web to actually be built. Because having this card first tells me that you have kind of had a problem with allowing people to get close, with expanding your circle. And unfortunately, a lot of us are like that. A lot of us have learned over the last couple years that if nothing else, the pandemic has absolutely brought out who people really are. Being used because of who you are, being used because of what you can do for someone else has been a thing with a lot of people. It's become apparently blaringly obvious when someone is using someone else. And Miss Polly, this tells me right here that you've experienced this the hard way repeatedly over the last few years. So when this card right here pops out, it tells me that you are finally open again to allowing people in your circle. The good thing about it is, after you've been hurt so much, you start to kind of expect it. And then when you allow people in your circle, one of my favorite sayings is, I'm giving them just enough rope to hang themselves. I know you guys have heard it. I know you've heard that saying. It's a pretty old one. That's exactly what web weaving does. It allows you to give them enough web to be connected to you, and also enough web to wrap themselves up when you need to eviscerate them. You see what I'm saying? That's what this time of year is bringing to you, Miss Polly. And that's a good place to be. I'm just saying. It means you are the spider with all the power. Just saying. This right here, coming after this card with the web weaving and community, you are about to get someone very new and very interesting into your life. Now, this is technically a soulmate card, okay? Let me say this. A soulmate is not always someone that we are interested in romantically. A soulmate can be a best friend. A soulmate can be an aunt, an uncle, a cousin, someone that you have such an intense bond with that you don't want to be without them. We all have those friends in our lives that when we meet them, it's an immediate connection. Like, I love the shit out of this person. Whether it's romantic love or just platonic love. We all have those people. You're about to get a new one. You're about to get a new one between now and Yule. This card right here is telling you to pay attention for this person as you're weaving this web. Okay? Now, when that person pops up, for some reason, it's going to trigger a lot of regret in you. This person right here that I was just talking about, they're going to remind you of someone that you lost. It's part of why this person is so instantly endearing to you, because they do remind you of someone that you lost. And when they remind you of someone that you lost, you're going to have this regret pop up. Now, here's the thing. We all have this happen. Every single one of us has this happen. When somebody comes in front of us that looks like, talks like, smells like, sounds like, whatever, someone that we miss, someone that's passed away, we start to kind of regret not spending more time with them. Does that make sense? We start to regret not spending more time with them. I know that it's easy for me to sit here and say, don't do that. Just don't do that because you now have this person, so don't do that. But in reality, we all experience this. We all experience this regret of, man, maybe if I had just gone home one more time, or if I had just stayed a little longer, or if I had this, if I had that, if I had this, if I had that. You can't overthink these regrets. Acknowledge them. Acknowledge that grief. Acknowledge missing that person. But don't let this regret take over. Because from now until Yule, as the days get shorter and colder, and we don't want to be outside, and we don't really want to talk to anybody and so on, it's going to be easy to sink into that regret. And that's not what you want to do. Okay? Because your last card right here is joy. You're going to find that this person right here and this intricate web of people that all have your back are going to bring an intense amount of joy that you haven't had, you haven't felt in a long time, Polly, honey. These cards actually make me just a little bit sad because this card here tells me that you've been fucked over so much with COVID especially, that you have a hard time trusting people. So the universe is bringing you this best friend, like dropping them right in your lap. It is going to cause some regrets. It just is. But at the same time, be happy in the moment and be happy with this newfound friend. Be happy with this newfound community and this web weaving. Okay? Be happy with all of the things that are going on. And when those regrets pop up, acknowledge them. Okay? I know that there are people that tell you, oh, just, you don't have to think about those regrets. They're not really regrets. Stop it. Every single person has regrets. I know we laugh and joke about the tattoo, no regrets, blah, blah, blah. But every single person has regrets. Every single person. The point is that you cannot let those regrets define you. You have to be happy. You have to have joy in each single moment. These regrets should make you want to be happy in each single moment. Does that make sense? You have a very deeply personal fall coming around. You have a very deeply personal time between now and Yule coming around. That's really going to get you back in touch with you. Okay, Miss Polly? And I'm sorry that you've had so many people fuck you over so much that I have to remind you to be happy. Or not remind you to be happy, but you know what I'm saying. Oh, I'm glad. I know that it'll be fantastic. All right. Let's see here. Okay. All right. I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. All right. Sarah Beard, are you ready? Aw, thank you. I bought some really cool contacts and I bought several pairs of them and I put them up so I wouldn't lose them. And I can't find them. Because that's the way this shit goes. It is what it is. About the time I go buy more, I'll find them. All right, Sarah. Here we go. I do that shit all the time. It is what it is. Hi, love. How are you? Happy Samhain, everyone. Now, for those of you guys that are on my list, know that I'll be doing some of these tomorrow as well. I've gotten past my first 5 for tonight, and we're moving on to the general list. Oh my gosh. My inner redneck, my inner Lurleen has actually come out more than a few times today. And then this weird ass, I can't talk type of thing has popped up a lot. Just has. All right. I just needed food in my face. That's what it was. I love homemade macaroni and cheese. That's one of the things I'm snarfing on. Or handmade macaroni and cheese. Let me say it that way. Even cold, it's utterly delightful. Utterly delightful. All right. You having mac and cheese too? Yes. High five. All right, Sarah. Here we go. Ready? You start off with the graveyard, which is unnecessary fear. Then you have the vampire, which is emotional intelligence. And then you have winter, which is the sacredness of passing. And finally, you have the ancestors, which is love and legacy of DNA. So, this right here. Right after Samhain, you're going to realize that you have had a very intense, irrational fear that has been taking over for a hot minute. Now, if you spend any amount of time on TikTok, then chances are you come across videos of some of the news, some of the things going on around the world, and it's really, really, really tough not to be stressed and worry that all of that is headed this way. You can't ever be prepared for everything, okay? But this unnecessary fear that's been really, really getting to you lately, Sarah, it is just that. It's unnecessary fear, okay? I know that it's easier said than done to just say, hey, just let it go and move on. But it is an irrational fear that's going on. When you realize that this is something that's out of your control, something that you have absolutely no control over whatsoever, that's when you're going to hit this emotional intelligence level, Sarah. A lot of times when we realize that things that we thought were good, things that we thought were bad, things that we thought or were told that are one way or another are actually not. And when we go through this where we have this irrational fear and then we realize, maybe there is something I can do about it after all. And maybe, just maybe, I can figure all of this out. That's when you reach a level of emotional intelligence that you didn't know before this. Does that make sense? So even though this is kind of a crappy card to have in a reading, especially a reading like this one right here is not. And I also want you to notice that this one is all of the colors that the moon is in this one. See what I'm saying? Emotional intelligence is an amazing thing to have. To realize that you can hold your own emotions back without letting them fly all over everyone is a very, very powerful place to be. The next one is winter, which is basically everything is starting to pass. This coming winter, Yule on, expect for your path to be kind of shown to you in an interesting way through the ice and the snow. It's about the best way I can say it. Deities think that they're really, really funny and letting you follow a path all the way to the end only to realize that there is nothing there. The universe is very funny in that way too. God, Allah, Buddha, whatever you want to call it. It's really, really funny. As we move toward Yule, you're going to find that winter is happening more deeper and deeper and deeper. Just let it happen. Okay? Just let it happen. Because as it happens and as things pause and move forward and restart again, you're going to be more and more and more connected to your ancestors, to your DNA, to those that have gone before you, to the culture that runs in your blood, and you're going to feel so much more connected to your bloodline, to your ancestors, and want to know more and more and more and more and more. I can't think of a better thing to have happen at Yule starting on Samhain. So that tells me that all of this back here, your ancestors are helping to orchestrate so you can move through these steps. Does that make sense? That makes sense? All right. Joe is on my list for tomorrow. Eric is next. Drink some more caffeine. Hey, Tiff, Carrie's on my list for tomorrow. Carrie and Joe are our first 5 for tomorrow. I don't know if I have any other first 5 for tomorrow so far, but it doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like it. So yeah. Alrighty. Eric, here we go. Let's see here. Oh, no, you shouldn't have picked tomorrow. Only if you wanted the first 5 for tomorrow. I'm going to read for tonight until my brain just gives out. And then I'm going to pass out. And then I'm going to get up. And I do have, if you guys are a subscriber. All right, Eric, you know what? You wanted to throw that card sideways. We're going to leave it. If you guys are a subscriber, tomorrow is the very first day of Bodhi's Book Club. We are going to talk about Backwoods Witchcraft, the very first chapter of Backwoods Witchcraft. A book club is all about going through a book chapter by chapter with other people that want to learn about this book too. The reason that I picked Backwoods Witchcraft is because it's one of my favorite books. It's one of my favorite books, and it's one that I recommend to almost everybody. It's written by Jake Richards, and for any of you guys that grew up with Baptist, with Southern Baptist, with most church people in the U.S., especially in the South, chances are that you practice the vast majority of the things that are in this book. It's a phenomenal book. I'm just saying. I'm just saying what I'm saying. Well, guys, I will say this. If you fall asleep before I get to you, no worries. If I don't get to you tonight and you are on my list for tomorrow, no worries, because I am going to be putting all of these on YouTube. The Zodiac reads and the Spicy Birth Chart reads from this week, they're on YouTube as well already. The couple from today will be on YouTube tomorrow. It, for some reason, takes a little bit for everything to download from TikTok and upload to YouTube. I know. It takes a minute for shit. But everything will be on YouTube for you guys, I promise, okay? So if you fall asleep, don't stress about it. If it's tomorrow while you're at work, don't stress about it. I got you, okay? I got you, I promise. So if you guys are a subscriber, whether it is here on TikTok or on YouTube, and on YouTube, you need to subscribe to the Blue Insider or higher. You will have access to the book club or the recording of the book club. Okay? Happy Samhain right back, Maxwell. All right. Eric, are you ready? Eric's probably in bed, I'm sure. Ready? Here we go. You're so welcome, Polly Honey. Have a good evening at work and be safe. All right. You have a really important decision. You have a really important decision coming up. Because the very first card that pops up, Eric, is risk and reward. Then you have joy. Then you have the skull of light, which is illumination. And then this is what you threw at me sideways. This is the werewolf. And this is getting back to being wild. Getting back to... I mean, the card's kind of self-explanatory. Getting back to howling at the moon. Okay? Is the book club only on YouTube? No, it is here on TikTok at 10 o'clock in the morning. And then the recording of it will be on YouTube later. So, yeah. All right. I'll try to be live on YouTube as well. So that way both subscribers in both places can watch it. All right. Eric, the reason I said that you have a big decision coming up is because of this card right here. This is the first card we started off with. So between now and Yule, you are going to have, and I would say this is probably coming up sooner rather than later. You've got to really weigh this risk, but I'm going to say this. Sometimes the reward or the chance at the reward far outweighs the risk. Sometimes we have to take the risk, even if we fail, to know that we took the shot at that reward. With you, though, and because I kind of know a little bit about what you're going through, I haven't read for you in a while, but because I kind of know a little bit about what you're going through, this risk is very interesting. Okay? This risk is very interesting. This risk is also something that you're going to have to think about for a little bit. Do not make a snap decision here. Don't make a snap decision. It's something that you really need to think about. Weigh all the options. Look at all the rewards. Look at all the risks. And look at all the things that could happen if it fails. Okay? Okay? Because here's the thing. This joy card tells me that by making the right decision for Eric with this risk, it brings an amazing amount of joy into your life. It brings an amazing amount of joy just by making the decision. Because sometimes we know that when we have a massive decision on our plate, it can be really hard for us to do anything with any amount of joy and happiness and freedom, because we know that we have this massive decision just weighing on us. When we finally make the decision, whether we go for it or not, whether it's yes or no, it's like all of that is just pulled off of us. We no longer have it weighing us down. The next card you have is Illumination, and I find it very, very interesting that after making this decision, you have this massive boost of joy and then this interesting illumination. So this decision right here is something that is holding you back in multiple ways. But like I said, don't make a snap decision here. Either way you choose with this decision, because there's nothing here that tells me which way you should or shouldn't choose. Either way, you're going to have the freedom to be happy and be light again, and also this very intense, deep illumination at what was stuck behind that decision. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? But know this. This card right here is sideways. This is getting back to wilderness, getting back to being wild, getting back to just enjoying all of the craziness that the elements has to offer. Notice it's sideways. All of this right here puts you in a neutral position where you've been feeling this need to run and this need to go be crazy and go do whatever, whatevs. Know that it's going to kind of side table that a little bit. Because when we're finally happy that we have got this massive decision off of our chest, and when we finally see what was being held behind that, what was being held down, what was paused, what was stopped, it kind of negates our need to go run and do crazy shit. So from now till Yule, know that you have this big decision you need to make just to get out from under the decision. Know that there's a massive amount of joy after making the decision, and that this illumination about shit is going to make it where you don't feel this need to just run away. Okay? It's so weird having to turn my heater on and off. I can't really move it back and forth. Last year, I had my desk over there and the heater was here so I could move it back and forth. Well, now I can't move it back and forth. It just has to stay in one place. So when it goes for too long on me, I'm like, oh, okay. I'm sleepy now because this is nice and toasty. But, all right, let me look at this one here. Okay. Let's do this. I only have a few more on my list for tonight. I have Jasmine, Kelly, Jennifer, April, Tammy. Oh, Lord, y'all. Here, I thought I only had a couple, and it's like, kabam, kabam. All right. We're going to do Jasmine. It's okay, Tiff. I got it. It's kind of weird just because there are some first five for today and first five for tomorrow. Because I'm going to be reading all day tomorrow too, because we got to do all these Samhains. Hey Connie, yours is done. It just needs to get sent to you. It'll probably be sent out this week. Now that we have the expansion thing finally done, finally open. All right, we're going to do Miss Jasmine. You ready? What do I want to drink? It's not a good day unless I have, or not a good time unless I have at least 3 drinks open, right? Right? Always. Or 5. 3 or 5. Why not? I have a Diet Dr. Pepper, I have a Propel, and I have some Bodhi's Mojo tea. Thank you, love. I appreciate that. Yum, 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 yum. So one thing I love about this, A, it's blue. And B, the longer it sits, it turns into this like beautiful deep maroon color. It's probably what's making me a little sleepy because well, no. I think the fact that I spent, oh God. I got to the shop at 7:45 a.m. and I didn't leave till almost 9:15. That's probably what's making me tired. That's probably what's making me tired. I'm like, why am I so tired? It's just been, no. I'm tired. I'm tired. Yeah. All right. Here we go, Jasmine. So, Jasmine, you start off with the hearth, which is the happiness that comes from being home. Okay? Then you have the lamp, which is remembrance. And I want you to notice the same shape. Okay? Then you have Lady de los Muertos, which is acceptance and equality. And then you have eternal love, which is love that transcends beyond death. Did you just lose someone, Miss Jasmine? Did you just lose someone? Because everything right here talks about between now and Yule, you finally getting a little leg up on the grief process. Grieving is never easy. It's never easy. It's always going to be there. But unfortunately, even if your world just stopped because you lost someone, no one else's did. And the world will expect you to get back to being you, to be normal again. After we lose somebody, that pulls us out of our normal daily routine, our normal life, our normal, this is how it's been forever type of thing. It can be hard for us to ever get back to our normal self, okay? And let me tell you guys a little secret. You are never going to be your original self. You aren't. You're never going to be the person you were before you lost that person. You know why? Because you were naive. You were naive to a world without that person in it. Okay? Here's what I'm going to say. We all have to learn that lesson. When we've always had someone there, and then suddenly they're not there anymore, we realize how the world is without them. We realize how the world is when we no longer have that best friend to call, that parent to kiss our boo-boos, that cousin, that uncle, that sibling. We no longer have that person there. And suddenly the world becomes a little less. The world becomes less than. I lost my mom almost 10 years ago. And there are still times that I pick up the phone and I'm ready to call her. And I'm like, I don't have a mom. I can't call my mom. I have to be an adult. I have to be the mom. I have to be the one people call. You're never, ever going to get back to normal. You're never going to get back to everything is hunky-dory fine, because you're always going to have that hole in there. However, there does come a time when their memory no longer makes you break down and just cry from the pit of your soul. There comes a time when their photo, when something of theirs, when the smell of their cologne, their perfume, when the sound of their voice in a video or their laugh no longer breaks you. There comes a point where it's just home. There comes a point where it reminds you of that love and that home. That's what this first card represents. The warmest, happiest place in your home. That person's memory and love and laughter. When you hit this point and you have this happiness of remembering them, of seeing a photo, of smelling something, a cologne, a perfume that they used to wear. That's where this remembrance card comes in. The thing about this remembrance card is this. You're kind of already in that position when you're in this hearth mode where everything is warm and fuzzy and friendly. It's the perfect time to remember this person. The reason I asked if you had lost someone recently is because of these two, as well as this card right here. Now, this is the acceptance and equality. I knew that was coming. That'd be 3, I think. 3. This acceptance and equality means that as we go through this whole phase of losing someone, we come to a point where we kind of have this acceptance in a way. It is, but it's not. Like, I don't know how else to say it. It is, but it's not. I mean, we don't really have a choice but to accept it because, I mean, it's not like we can go back and say, no, give me that person back. I don't want to do this anymore. It's not the way the universe works. But this acceptance of this is my path now. This is my life now. This is this. This is this. This is this. That acceptance is very intense and very hard to come to and very strong. It's strong because it allows us to start moving forward. Even though you're never going to be completely normal, it allows you to start moving forward. Okay? But here's the thing. You also have this love is love is love card at the end. This is an eternal love. This is something that doesn't ever go away. It's always going to be there. So in losing someone, you have that eternal love. You have that eternal bond, that eternal aspect of the two of you's relationship together. Now, between now and Yule is going to be a very intense healing time for you. It just is. And Miss Jasmine, I'm sorry that you're going through such an intense healing time in 2 months. Know that you know where to find me 2 days a week, at least. And all of the people that are normal people that are always in my lives, they will always be there for you as well. I never want you guys to feel like you have to go through loss, you have to go through grief, you have to go through any of that on your own. My arm is itchy, or there's only a couple places on my tattoo that are still flaky and it's driving me up the wall. I'm trying not to itch it, but by just rubbing through the shirt, it's satisfying it, okay? But, yes. Oh, honey. I absolutely wish the exact same for you, and I hope that the old gods of Odin and Zeus and Ra and Thor bless you beyond your wildest dreams. I appreciate you pushing me up in the For You page, and I hope that you find every single blessing that you deserve. Man, it's just a fun night. I must have struck a nerve with that one. Tell me you're new to deity work without telling me you're new to deity work. I am not dismissing one deity over another. However, almost every single person who is new to the spiritual world and deity work, Hecate greets them. She's the Greek goddess of witchcraft. Almost every single person that's new to their path is also, especially if they're of Celtic descent, is greeted by the Morrigan or Brigid, the patron saint of women, the patron saint of revenge, or Kali, destruction, or Nyx, of the night. So, Hecate tends to be the one that greets the most people. She is the goddess of witchcraft. There are no deities that are above one or another. They're all deities. They're all gods. They're all goddesses. There is a hierarchy in all of the pantheons, and it doesn't take but a couple of minutes on Google to learn them all if you would like. So when you come into the live of someone who has been teaching for a very long time, and you want to spout the fact that a certain deity has greeted you on your path, and spout all of these other things and so on that are untrue and that only take a second or two to actually Google, it's a bit comical, to be honest. But that's okay. Everyone has to start somewhere. Everyone has to start somewhere. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. Gotta love it. So, back to Miss Jasmine. Before you got so rudely interrupted by the drive-by Jesusers and then the misguided young person. Miss Jasmine. This person is always with you. Not only are they always with you, but they'll be waiting for you when you cross over as well. Now, the other thing is this, Miss Jasmine. This is a lot of intense grief, a lot of steps, a lot of change, a lot of shifting between now and Yule. 2 months can be an eternity, and it can also be the blink of an eye. So, give yourself time to process all of this. Give yourself time to process this person's amazing life and their memories as home for you. Remember those aspects about them. And know that it's okay to accept that they're gone, because they're not actually gone. See what I'm saying? Do you smell what I'm smoking? Happy Samhain Blue. How are you? So, Miss Kelly Allen is my next one. Kelly, are you teaching tomorrow? Are you at work tomorrow? Or are you going to be here during the day? Oh, we've struck some nerves this evening. I love troll accounts. You know why? Because when they comment, they push me up in the For You page, and I love it. I love it. Hello, love. How are you? I am going to head to bed because I am about to hit the wall, which means my words are going to start being really, really comical and then non-existent words. So, I love you, Nicole. You know, one thing, I mean, I've never sat in a Christian person's live, so I can't speak to other pagan creators. I am positive that there are trolls in their lives as well, but what cracks me up is that I don't do that. I don't have time. And if I do come across a live or something like that I don't agree with, guess what? I came into that live, I came across that video by doing that very thing. I mean, I'm just saying what I'm saying. Anyway, I will get this downloaded and I will get this on YouTube, and my lovely ladies will help me get everybody's times in there. And I will see you guys tomorrow. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Later today for some of you. Go get some rest. Have a good end to your Samhain evening. And tomorrow we shall do the cards.